Oh, Aparna is magical.
Yeah.
Just let me know when you want to start.
Yeah, well, it's 7:34, so I'll continue, like I said, watching for anybody that it has to be admitted.
I guess we can give it 5 more minutes just because people are probably just trickling in.
Okay, Joe just came on. Joe Powers. No, that's not her last name. Who am I thinking of? What's Joe's last name, Wendy? The one who always shows up for our healings.
Joe Pitcher, maybe.
Pitcher.
There she is. Oh, you got
Joe
a haircut.
Powers. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that. And your hair's a little, I love it.
Little
Oh, thank
blonder.
you. I'm a little pixie.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you didn't say anything bad about me since I was showing up.
Yeah, no, that's the truth. But you always have that wonderful pixie-ish type of feel, you know.
Thank you.
It's just delightful.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Happy to be here.
thank you. Wonderful.
So where's everybody from? Maybe we can, well, I'll let Wendy start in a few minutes. I guess we'll give it 2 more
Yeah,
minutes.
we definitely have somebody from Baltimore. Christine, where are you today?
Me, I am up in New Hampshire. So
New Hampshire. There we
Yep.
go. So you, how about you, Karen?
I'm from Haymarket, Virginia.
Fabulous. How about you, James?
No, Joyce.
No, James.
Oh,
Joyce is from Baltimore. I know that.
Okay. Yeah,
Hey.
you know that.
I'm from here in Fairfax Station, so right nearby, near
Okay.
Burke.
Oh,
Good
fabulous.
Good to see everyone.
Welcome.
We don't get to see you, but
I'm here.
And
Terry.
there you are. Excellent.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Thank
And
you.
then, how about you, Morgan?
She hasn't unmuted herself.
And don't worry, large part of this will be with our eyes closed, so each other while we can, but
And we've got the full moon's energy. So what are we going to do with the full moon's opportunity to make shifts tonight?
we're gonna play with that actually. We're gonna play with some powerful, this is the pink moon.
Yes.
Mhm.
So
So
it's powerful for manifestations. So we're gonna play with that today. Have a meditation at the end on manifestation. So that just with the full moon, it wouldn't be, it wouldn't be quite the same. We don't want to waste that energy and not have our heart's desires speak to us. So so there's definitely that coming up.
Lovely.
All right, so we can start if you wish.
Okay.
So I am privileged to introduce Aparna. She has certainly made her mark in the corporate world through consulting. She has 500 hours of study of yoga and knows very much the somatic and how to move energy on the somatic realm. We had the privilege to work together in a program for addiction recovery over the last year, where she did amazing breath work and helped folks. She has worked with the homeless in San Francisco and is still sought after on the West Coast, and people in Colorado and other places in the country are still calling, asking her to come and help her with, or help them with their different programs. So thank you, Aparna, for being here with us tonight.
My pleasure. I am so looking forward to this. This topic is really something I love sharing and talking about and playing with. So welcome everyone, and thank you, Wendy, for introducing me to the community. And Alice, thanks for always supporting my efforts to be able to share here. So I actually am based out of Arlington, Virginia, and I moved here about 3.5 years ago, like right before the pandemic. I moved back here from San Francisco, where I lived for the previous about 15 years. And worked there. And primarily I worked in a lot of corporate type of jobs. So I worked in the venture capital community. I worked with a lot of startups. And I was very driven with this whole funding startups, having new startups come up. So I've worked with startup companies like Facebook. I worked with Google. And I've also worked with a lot of smaller companies that are now becoming bigger, like Airbnb and Uber and so forth. So I've worked quite a bit in the community, and one of my prize roles was as an Obama Fellow on global entrepreneurship. I came here to serve for 1 year as a diplomatic fellow, and so I got to travel all over the world and talk about entrepreneurship and how to fund startups, and basically how to really help young people take their businesses or their concepts to the next level. Like, how do they actually monetize it? How do they create ecosystems? So I've been to Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, India to talk about and bring communities together, me with a team of people. So it was quite a adventure for me. And
Okay, Barb, we're gonna have to mute you. Joe, we're gonna have to mute you. Okay, because something's coming through.
And, you know, in all of those times, so I was always, and I grew up in India. So I grew up with, you know, until the age of about 10 or 11. So I grew up with a very strong spiritual practice because my grandmother used to do a fire ceremony every day. And I had a meditation practice at a very young age, mostly what we call japa meditation, so meditating on mantras and doing a lot of fire ceremonies. And so it was always a part of my my upbringing, but it was only after the financial market crash. So in 2010, I always lived two lives. So I had a very strong spiritual life. It's just the way I grew up, and I always cultivated that. And then I had a very strong, I was very strongly driven to a success. So I was obsessed with it. I wanted to, you know, kind of have something of my own that'll make millions of dollars, and you know, the whole works. And then when the financial market crashed, my business that I was running at the time crashed. So I was really identified with working in this space and being in this ecosystem with VCs. And so it was like, it was a really big part of my identity. And so when the market crashed and my business crashed, I was really shaken up by it. And I didn't know what to do because it went from doing really well to doing nothing. And so I, at that time, decided to take a break and went to India and started living. It was the same time I met my spiritual teacher. So it's just like how life happens in sync, because it was just 2 months before that I met him. And I was like, someday I'd love to go live in his ashram, which is in South India, which is the spiritual center. And so but I didn't know that someday would be coming so quickly. Like everything happened within the same time. So in that January of 2010, I went to go live in the ashram in India. And I spent a few months really looking at, so in the unique thing about living in an ashram is the people you're surrounded by have committed themselves to the spiritual path. So they're called brahmacharis, which is another way of saying monks. You know, so these people don't work or do other things. They're just committed to that spiritual growth and path. And they don't really need any other material stuff to make them happy. I mean, they have everything provided there. So, you know, it was very interesting way to observe a lot of these people. And there are most of the ones I've met are really young. So they're not like, these are not monks that, some of them are older, but a lot of them are in their 30s and they've just chosen this path. It was their calling. And because the spiritual teacher is so well known all over the world, they decide to come there. Some of them are teachers of young students. Some of them are working on like agricultural products and projects and things like that. So it's like a varied interest. There are like over, I think about 10,000 people that live there. It's a huge place, like massive. And so I went to live there, and then I started just getting so deep into my spiritual awakening and journey that when I came back, I thought, okay, well, I have to go back to work. So when I started going back to work, it just did not feel the same. And I felt so conflicted. So every year I would go back to the ashram and I would come back to the US. But one thing that, or a couple of things, and why this whole somatic wisdom and how it relates is that I used to have a pretty active lifestyle. So I would work out. I still did my religious practices, and I used to work a lot. But I never experienced somatic wisdom until I started going deeper into these states of silence and meditation. So I spent a lot of time in silence when I was in the ashram. And that's when I started tapping into, like, you know, we work out our bodies, we move our bodies, we work through our chakras, and we think, okay, there's wisdom there, but we don't really tap into, and that's just scratching the surface. So I started learning more about, and by somatic wisdom, what we mean is, or at least the way I define it, is the connection between our body, our soul, and our spirit. So in yoga, we say that, in actually just in the Eastern culture, we say we believe in reincarnation, right? So when we are reincarnated, our soul is always still kind of alive, and it just transcends into either a being of some sort, right? It could be a human being, could be something else, but the soul is still alive, and it keeps going from, you know, year after year or over time. And so the somatic wisdom, so the wisdom of that body and that soul never really, or the wisdom of the soul never really leaves us. So even in this body, we still carry wisdom from lifetimes, you know, and we don't even know it. And most humans, just the way we live our lives, we never get a chance to tap into that, because there's never, unless and until you spend a lot of time in deep meditation or silence, or make an effort towards that. And there's still more, you know, so it's like you never get it done. There's probably so much years and centuries of wisdom that is in our organs, in our body, that we never get to tap into. So just even a little flavor of that for me was such an awakening that I thought, wow, there's so much to this. And so I started doing more silent practices. So silence, meaning that you can, we're very, in the ashram, they're very strict about silence. You can't even make eye contact with anyone. You're kind of looking down as you're walking. And the idea is that you're so ingrained and in tune with your inner body and your inner being that you don't want to use any much of your other senses, just kind of, you know, getting by. You can walk and move the body, but not other things. So that's what inspired me to kind of talk about somatic wisdom, because there are layers upon layers and upon layers of wisdom that is in our being, that is transcended into our bodies and into just our way of being. And as we meditate and as we go deeper in our inner journey, we start to unleash a few, you know, we start to unleash it a little bit at a time. But it feels like it's a huge journey. So today's session, we're actually going to play with our organs, and we're going to listen to our organs. So I'm going to guide you through that, and then we're going to do a meditation to tap into some of the manifestation and visualization. So that's an overview, but I'd love to hear from you guys and see what your experience is of somatic practices or wisdom, or what you've kind of experienced. Anybody want to share? Well, I know Alice had some questions in the beginning about some of this. So Alice, I know, you know, it'd be great if you wanted to ask your question or share. You're on mute. You're muted.
God, my day has been so crowded today that I actually have forgotten what we were talking about to begin with, but the Barb, if you have a comment or a question, why don't you just type it in? Because her speaker is broken. But I just found it fascinating that my understanding has always been that I could access all my past lives just by scanning my bones. And so one of the things I asked you, Aparna, is about past lives. So far, I've had about maybe 30 odd past lives revealed to me. And
Wow.
some of them are more impactful than others. And they came as a result of deep tissue massage. They came as a result of acupuncture. They came as a result of meditation, of regressive hypnotherapy, things like this. But I think the thing that fascinated me was that I never heard the word somatic. That was brand new to me. So I was like fascinated by that, because I thought, certainly by now, after having read as much as I've done and listened to as many spiritual speakers, that I thought I heard every word on the planet, but that was brand new. So I really love that. But the other thing I think that I mentioned is that I did 2 past life regressions and found myself, discovered that first of all, I was a drop of water in the ocean. And then the second time I discovered that I was a grain of sand on the beach. So that was really interesting. That was part of a class that where we were told to just go into a past life. And that's what came out for me, non-human lives. So that.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And one thing that it's definitely about the lifetimes, but also the other thing where we use some of the somatic wisdom is to heal our own body.
Mm-hmm.
So every one of our organs or any kind of chronic illness that we have, we can pretty much cure, not viruses, but is speaking to us, right? So our body is always speaking to us, and we can heal ourselves. So that's one thing where, like, for example, for me, before I did some of these practices, I used to have inflammation on the right side of my body because I had endometriosis. So I had a lot of, which is just little inflammation, but it was dividing my body right down the middle. So it would only be on the right side and nothing on the left. It never crossed paths. It was like so clear cut, the divide. And so when I first started learning about this stuff, and I thought, I wonder if I can cure this. And I had a friend of mine who was an OBGYN at Stanford, and she goes, oh, people always think they can do all this airy-fairy stuff and cure things, and they always come back to me anyway. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to take that as a challenge. So I took that on, and I started doing very deep, like, silence and more work on it. And believe it or not, it didn't happen right away, but it took me about a year. And I started really understanding why I was having this pain just on one side. Like, you could cut me open and there was only inflammation on the right side, never touched the left. And so as I learned about that, and I realized, like, it would speak to me, and sometimes you don't want to hear it, because it said, like, for me, it was an issue with self-love and an issue with, like, me always pushing myself too hard. So always seeking perfection. And so all those things are things that are out there, but it's like, I don't really want to spend too much time on it. I didn't at the time. But I noticed that whenever I would address it, it would come back if I went down the path of, like, really pushing myself really hard. So eventually I learned to listen and let it dissolve. And believe it or not, it took over a year, but it did happen. And so I became a really firm believer. So now every time I get really sick or have anything, like last year when I had COVID, I just, like, start speaking and just using that wisdom in the body. Now, COVID is a virus, and I get that, but I was actually able to heal it naturally. So I'm not saying everything can be healed this way, but there is a lot that we can do before we you know, in this lifetime within our organs, we can heal our body and we can really speak to the wisdom there. So I just want to highlight that as it comes up, because somatic wisdom, to me, that's one of the most powerful things about it. But I see that there were some other questions, so I think I don't want to. I want to give people a chance to speak. Anybody else want to share something?
Okay.
Now I know I'm in a community of a lot of spiritual healers, so I'm sure that you guys have experiences that are amazing with this. So I would love to hear.
I would just like
So
to let her,
Alice, go ahead, Joyce, sorry.
I just wanted to let her know that I know absolutely nothing about it. I saw somatic wisdom and I thought, oh, let me check this out. So
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, and we'll play with this. So we're going to jump into an exercise where we are going to be speaking to our organs. So I'm going to walk you through a whole journey.
cool.
Yeah, so we'll definitely get to experience it for sure. Because, you know, otherwise it's everybody's individual experience that counts.
Okay.
Wendy, what were you going to say?
Well, I did a program a couple weeks ago on the commands and taking ownership of our body and our mind, and speaking blessing over ourselves and how the power of that can heal. Many people on this call can attest to how Reiki, I mean, Alice, you've talked about how Reiki can help you get out of pain in your back. I had the privilege of witnessing a mother-daughter. I taught a mother-daughter Reiki class over the weekend, and you know, this 14-year-old has cerebral palsy, and she had trouble, you know, focusing and you know, whatever, and it was amazing to see in a Reiki 1, after just an attunement, this hard shift that can happen in one. So energy is power.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, just getting back to what Wendy said, I immediately, if I get a twinge in my body anywhere, I immediately go and put like my hands on either side, you know, so like here's the twinge and here's the other side. And then I run this sign of the infinity between that. And I would say probably usually within 5 minutes, that pain is gone. So for me, that, and I think it's the same thing, you know, it's the wisdom of the body that's using it. I credit it with Reiki, you know, which is God's energy, you know, so.
And that's, yeah, and there's lots of different ways to play with that energy, even acupuncture or deep tissue massage. And there are different ways to awaken that wisdom in the body. And so especially even like massage, for example, you can just feel when someone goes up that spine, right? And you can just feel a lot of stuff shift. But we, as a lot of people here are healers, they know that we just have to be open to it. But when since I was coming from a more professional or not professional, but more like a business, corporate, analytical mind standpoint, it was kind of an eye opener for me because I didn't really realize that that was possible. I wish I had known a long time ago, but you know, it was just something that I never thought that there was something that could be used that way. And I never thought of yoga that way either, because yoga is or yoga asanas are such a physical practice. So I just thought, you know, so that was the interesting shift as it takes place. And there's still so much more, you know. I would have to like lock myself up in a cave in the Himalayas and just stay there for years, and Lord knows what would unleash. But you know, so yeah, it's amazing. All right, well, we're going to start playing with some of this. So I invite you to find, I'm going to share my screen here in a presentation, but I invite you to find a comfortable space and we're gonna have this slide up. So so you'll, or actually what I'll do is I'll guide you through it for a little bit so you can just see for the first one. And then we're gonna jump into the practice. So we're gonna work with 4 organs here, and then we'll do we'll come back as a group, and then we'll go into a manifestation meditation. So the first one of our organs that we're gonna work with is our lungs. So get comfortable in your chairs and come seated. And plant your feet firmly on the ground. So your entire foot is on the ground. Your shoulders come down. So let them relax so that we're bringing all of our energy to the organs that we're referring to. And the energy of the lungs is connected to the large intestines also. The sound associated with it is this shh. So that's so, and some of the negative emotions when our lungs, this one's really important right now because of COVID, because COVID really attacks our lungs first and foremost. So that's why when people have COVID, we have sadness, we have tiredness, depression feeling. So there are a lot of negative feelings that can, when our lungs energy is blocked, we can feel it. So drop your shoulders, and we're gonna bring the palms of our hands to our lungs and just support your lungs. Make sure your shoulders are down, your eyes are closed. And as we do this practice, we have 2 lungs, so make sure you bring both your palms on top of each side of your body. And then what we're going to do is we're going to visualize an eye. So an eye on both sides, the right side of our lungs and the left side of our lungs. And so take an inhale through the nose, open your mouth, let it go. And we'll do 2 more of these. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. So you can feel your lungs. Last one, inhale. And really feel the movement in your lungs. And now with your eyes closed and your shoulders relaxed, relax your whole body. And start to just feel your breath. So inhaling, feel the lungs expand. And when you exhale, let the lungs just come in and just sink a little deeper inward. And bring all your attention into the lungs. And we're going to bring what we call drishti, which means your eyes focus to the lungs. And with each breath, we're going to switch the right eye and the left eye on the lungs. So you're going to take an inhale and then open that right side of your lung, that right eye, and just look deep within. Take another inhale and look at the left. And bring all your attention to the left side. And see if there's any sadness or anything, any depression. And just keep switching, inhaling, and then right lung, bringing your eye to the right side. Inhale, and bring your eye to the left. And we're going to do this 20 times. Inhale, right. and left. Keep switching your attention, your energy, your focus, your eyesight between the right and the left lungs, opening. So it's like an eye opening in the lung. And see what you see. And be fully aware and present. And give yourself totally to this awareness. Right lung, left lung. And now incorporate the sound, the sh. Right side and left side. And get total visibility if you ever experience any sadness, any depression, any loneliness. Just breathe into it. And now with your eyes closed, take the palms of your hands, bring them all the way up. All the way up, palms facing the sky. And then bring them down the middle and make this shh. One more time, all the way up. And just let all that anxiety and depression just go. Shh. And bring those palms back to your heart, to your lungs. Right on top of those lungs. Now feel that cleansed air. And look inside those lungs. And look for the courage and the bravery that is in your being. Right here in those lungs, feel the strength. You can feel the strength and courage on the right. And then feel it on the left. And sink deeper into it, deep within. Let yourself, allow yourself to speak to your courage. See if any images arise as you visualize your courage in your lungs. And stay. Visualize yourself using that courage. It's almost like you're standing on top of a mountain, just feeling like this roaring lion feeling your own courage. And see if it speaks to you in your day-to-day life. Where can you have more courage and strength? And visualize it. And stay and continue to feel the cleansing, the awakening, and the strength coming from you to you. And now take those palms all the way up to the sky. Rise tall with those arms. And exhale, bring them down. Slow it down. And one more time, all the way up. Feel like this courage that is rising above you. And then exhale. And on this last one, inhale all the way up, palms up. This time open them out. And come alive with that courage and the strength. Let it be. And now your palms rest down on your thighs. And slowly open your eyes. And we're going to just shake it out, shake out any tension. If anybody has any questions, just you can feel free to ask here. And we're going to jump into the next organ. How are we doing? If I don't hear anything, I'll assume it's good. So I'll keep going. All right, the next organ is our kidneys and our bladder. They're related, and the sounds is a just like exhaling, like you're blowing it out, like a choo-choo train, I guess. So, and you're gonna take your arms, palms, so use your palms, and we bring them all the way back, right back on the upper part of our back. So right below our chest, but above our hips. Now we hold a lot of fear in our kidneys, actually. And we hold stress and anxiety there. And the way it manifests is a lot of times we have, as in a large percentage of us, including me, our body gets very acidic. So we get acid reflux, we get IBS, some of those kind of symptoms that impact our bladder and our kidney. That is all our fear manifesting itself. So just feel the sensations of those kidneys in the back. And we're going to close our eyes and just feel it. So we're going to feel see if there's any fear as you hold those kidneys. You close your eyes. Inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, breathe into those kidneys. Inhale through the nose and exhale. Breathe into the kidneys. Feel the right and the left. And see if you feel that fear, the acidicness, any stress or anxiety there. And now we're going to inhale through our nose. And when we exhale, bring all your attention, bring the eyes to the right side. Keep your eyes closed. Inhale. And bring all your attention to the left. Open that left eye. And let it speak to you. And continue, inhale. And open that eye on the right side, the right kidney. And then inhale. And open that left kidney. Let that eye open fully, so you can be fully aware. Any trauma, any phobias. Let it speak to you. Switch between the right eye, right kidney. And then left eye, left kidney. And look deep within. We'll do 3 rounds. Keep switching between the right and the left. Last 2. Let that eye open on the right kidney. We often have more strain on one than the other. So let that speak to you. Now take your chin up. And then slowly with your eyes closed, you're going to move your chin down and make that sh sound exhaling. So inhale, take your chin up. And then exhale and come all the way down to your knees. Bending at the kidneys, at the hips. And then inhale up. We're going to do 3 more. So exhale with that sh sound. Just cleansing those kidneys and the bladder. Inhale up. Slowly. And then exhale. Take your time. Inhale up. Last one. Slow it down. stay. And then slowly rise back up. And bring your hands back to the front. Take an inhale all the way up. Exhale down. One more time, inhale up. And just feel all that fear is gone. Feel that aliveness, and then exhale down. And we'll do one more time. Inhale up. And just come alive. Feel a total sense of freedom, dissolving any and all fear, any anxiety. Let it go. And now bring your hands back to your thighs. And just shake it out. Open your eyes. See how you're feeling. Upper body should be loosened up a little bit. And now we're going to switch to our liver. The liver is where we hold the biggest, one of the most dominant emotions, which is anger. So our liver is on the underneath our right rib cage. Right there is where we have our liver. On the right side, so you're going to bring both your palms to the right side of the body. And you're going to close your eyes. So both palms just on the right. This is where our liver is. Our liver houses a lot of anger and keeps us from feeling truly joyful, generous, and happy. So we're going to speak to that anger and stress. So keep your eyes closed. Inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, bring both your eyes and your attention to that liver. Relax your shoulders. And just feel that inner eye opening into the liver. And the liver is a large enough organ, so you can have your right eye and your left eye both inside. Inhale through the nose. And exhale. And open that eye in the liver. And see what anger speaks to you here. We may not be angry beings, but we hold a certain element of resentment and anger. Let that eye have full visibility to that. Inhale, and then exhale into it. Open that eye and open into your liver. And look deep within. See if you feel any sense of anger, even towards yourself. Things you wish you should do. You know you should do. All those shoulds. And look deep within that liver. Let the eye speak to the should. Should have, could have, would have. And stay. And sometimes when we focus on the shoulds and the liver, we feel a certain tiredness. Stay with it. Now start to shift the shoulds to just a shh sound. So inhale, and then breathe into shh. Yes, H, 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 H. Make a shh sound and speak to your liver. Let it go. Let that anger go with all the shoulds. Let's see how much more relaxed and heal. A lot of our illness resides in that liver. With each exhale, just make the sh sound. We'll do 10 of these, just letting go of all that anger and all the self limitations, self-imposed. The I should have, I should do's. If only I did. And relax your shoulders. And just feel how much lighter your liver feels as it dissolves. All that self-judgment. And start to awaken to the kindness. And yes, it is true that kindness and generosity start in our liver. When we empty the anger, it frees us up to self-compassion. And just visualize with those eyes kindness for the self. And continue with the shh, blowing it out. Now close your lips and make the sh sound. Just from inward, letting go. And see if you can smile from your liver. Smiling the kindness and the generosity. And then inhale, pick up those arms all the way up. And exhale down. One more time. Up. And exhale. And then slowly open your eyes and come back to the space. And the last organ that we're going to do is our heart. So we're going to bring our hands, palms to our heart, the other side. And the heart, as we know, is the house of our love. But it can also be the house of hatred, cruelty, arrogance, and impatience when we experience negative emotions. So bring your hands to your palms, to your heart. And the sound is a ah, like a relief. Ah. So inhale through the nose. And then make that sound, ah. Just like a relief, letting go, just in our heart. Ah. Letting go of any hatred, any cruelty. From the self to the self. Inhale, and then make that ha sound, ha. Relax your shoulders. And just with that sound alone here, you can look into your heart. But just that sound alone allows your heart to open a little deeper. And blow out that sound of the ha. And feel your heart being totally open. And forgive yourself here. With your eyes closed. And opening into the heart. See if there's any forgiveness for this one, this being. See if there's any compassion for this being. And stay with that. Stay with it. And breathe into the ah. And see how much more alive and open your heart is. Ah. Take 3 deep ha sounds. Inhale. 2 more. Ah. And the last one. Ah. And now open those arms all the way out. Open them out, open them big. Open that heart. Open. And then as you exhale, make that ha sound and give yourself a big hug. Ha. Just from you to you. Give yourself that love that you long for. Inhale one more time. Inhale, open. Open wide. And as you exhale, the ha, the opposite arm up. And hold strong. Hold. And then slowly drop your arms. And close your eyes. And we're going to come into a meditation for manifestation. So as you close your eyes here, relax your palms and relax your whole body. I'm going to guide you through this journey. We're going to take advantage of the full moon and the deep relaxation in our body. And we're going to begin with our eyes closed. Relax and let your shoulders drop down. I'm going to play a little music. We're going to drop into, and so with each inhalation, inhale, and then when you exhale, drop deeper into your core. Again, inhale, and just melt into yourself, into that inner being, into that inner presence. And you can have your palms open to the sky. We're open and receptive to all good here. Start to bring your attention with this open body, open heart, to the presence and the softness and the coolness of the full moon on the inner plane. And just start to feel the cool sensation of the moon on the inner plane. Feel it on your face, on your cheeks. Feel the eyelids be relaxed. Feel the tip of your nose, feeling the cooling sensation of a full moon. A moon at its fullest on the inner plane. The moon has the yin energy that allows us to soften from within. And then bring that moon's energy to your heart. And visualize, let your heart speak to you and your deepest manifestation, deepest desire. And see what arises. And we say with the full moon, comes every month. For this month forward, what is your deepest desire for yourself, for your life? What brings a smile to your face? An aliveness to your presence. Give me one thing specific. We'll do it for two things. So the first thing, bring it alive in your presence. And just feel it in your heart and visualize yourself having that which you desire. And see where in your body you feel that desire. Let it come alive. Let the full moon bless your desire. Bring a smile to your face, as if you've already manifested. Because once you desire it, it is as if it's done. And smile into it. Let the full moon bless it. And stay with that smile. And now bring to your heart something that you desire that you never thought would be possible. Your wildest, deepest desire. something that you were even too afraid to share with yourself, let alone anybody else. And let the full moon bless that desire. Smile. And know that the full moon heard your wish. It's just between you and the moon. May sound crazy, but it's your deepest desire. I'm gonna bring a smile to your face. And let it express itself fully. No need to be scared on the inner plane. It's just you and the full moon. And the full moon is vast and it's cool. It's beautiful and it hears your heart anyways. So let it be. And sit strongly with your lungs strong. Your heart open. Your liver cleansed. And just feel the aliveness as you are truthful to yourself, using the full moon to let you be that way. And know that the full moon doesn't really hear your words. It speaks to your heart directly. And now gently press upon your heart and bring a smile to your face. As if you've manifested everything that you wish for. No words are needed. And then slowly bring the palms in front of your hands and rub them together. Feel this warm, loving energy in between the two hands. Feel this warm energy from you to you. And bring it all the way to your cheeks and your eyelids. Take it in, inhale through the nose and just breathe. Open your eyes. Bring to your awareness that full moon. And then bring your hands to your heart. We'll do one Om. Namaste. Slowly open your eyes, and as you come back into the space, see if you can come up with one word of how this whole journey was, or whatever you wish to share with us or with the full moon. And you can unmute yourself and just share. How's everyone doing?
Good. For me, this is Christine. Hi. For me, the first word that came to me was peace.
Nice, beautiful.
Mhm.
And I got the word mystic. I just felt there was something very mystical about the whole journey to the moon. Just loved it.
Mm,
Thank you.
thank you. Hi, Joe.
Hi. I'm going to take the word peace also. Definitely peace.
Nice. We could always use more peace in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else?
Freedom. Started out on the physical plane and I ended up sitting with the masters. Freedom.
Mm,
Thank you, Aparna.
I love that. Thank you. And I know we had James who was a little shy. Anything you wish to share?
It was just peaceful. It
Mm,
was nice to get away from the thoughts and go into my feeling. Sometimes I need a little help doing that, so that's what this did for me, so thank you.
yes, absolutely. And I see that Barb, her speaker's broken, but she was able to clear her anger. And she saw it charred away, burning away. That's powerful. A lot of times that happens with this. I too use it for that purpose. A lot of times we don't even know we're angry from within. The word that came to me was community, and how important and powerful it is to be able to connect with others and share. Because you know, this was something I'd always wanted to go deeper with a group of people, and I love that I could. So. Barb, do you wish to share? She actually, Barb is the one that's right. So thank you. Ilsa and Karen.
I just feel really peaceful as well. I actually think I fell asleep a couple times. I was so relaxed. Thank you.
Yes, yeah. And you know, it's interesting. Barb also wanted to share. She felt the lightness, the soggy. She felt like a soggy towel left in the trunk of my car. Oh, with the lungs. It turned into a bright orange of fading coals in a campfire. Wow, beautiful. Yeah, and you know, with the manifestation energy, so a lot of clearing, right? So you can actually continue to do a deeper meditation after this, because the full moon is here all night. And one thing that I want to share that my teacher always says to me is the full moon is very, very powerful. This is when Buddha attained during one of the full moons, not this one, but in the one in July is when Buddha attained enlightenment, meditating under a tree. But the full moon is a chance to dissolve some of our old self and habits that don't serve us and bring in new habits. So the way our teacher always has us do it is that every full moon, we commit to one or two things that we want to get rid of in our lives. So if you do that every full moon, and it's a 30-day cycle, so you're committing to for sure for those 30 days. But if you do that every full moon, you let go of 12 things that no longer serve you. And it's just a really good way of dissolving, because a lot of times we make lists of things we don't like. And then, you know, we want to attack them all at one time. But my teacher says, you know, take it one at a time. Every full moon, get rid of one specific thing. So it can be something like, oh, I want to be more joyful. Something specific that you want to kind of let go of or invite into your life. And then commit to it for 30 days and see how you feel. So it's something I try and play with every time. And sometimes the old habits do come back, but I try and let go of or invite something in each time. So one thing that I did when I first started this was part of the yoga or the yogic journey, especially living in an ashram, is we wake up really early. So between 4:30 and 5 in the morning. And it was not something that I had done in the past. So that was something I invited into my space during a full moon. And I've actually continued with that now for many years, but it was a full moon thing that I brought that in. And then after 30 days, it became so natural that, I mean, sometimes I may sleep until 6 or something, but 6 or 6:30, but you know, it's just, I know now that I'll always go back to it. It's no longer a struggle. So, you know, just like that, you could use simple habits or you could use something bigger, but you know, now I'm going to open the forum. Anybody want to have any questions, anything? How was the, you know, how, or anything you want to share, actually. I'll leave it open. I've been doing a lot of talking, so I figured let's see if, you know, we've got so many, some healers, some people who are experiencing it for the first time. It doesn't really matter. It's all a unique experience. So feel free to ask or share.
Well, I think everybody did, Aparna, and we still have to do our prayer. So
Okay.
yeah, and because we do try to finish at 9.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, so I truly thank you for this. I loved the variation in the variations of a theme, you know, that you brought forward. So that was just lovely, and especially when we have something so special like a full moon, and like you said, the pink moon, you know, very, very special, and the timing couldn't have been better for your presentation. So I think we'll end with our prayer. And if everybody would very gently close their eyes, place their hands on your lap in what I call the receptive position, palms facing up. Take a deep breath in. Dear Mother, Father, God, Divine, Infinite Spirit, source of all that is, I ask to be connected to you, to my higher self, and to the higher self of everyone here present. I ask for the assistance of the angels, the archangels, the ascended masters, the Reiki masters, but most especially Master Jesus, Master Buddha, Master Kutumi. And we ask for special healing for the following: my son, my daughter-in-law, my grandbaby, the Jones family, Sweeney family, Zarnopis family, all the refugees that are streaming around the world, all those who are being persecuted around the world, and especially those that are facing active wars in their communities and insurgent factions. And we ask that there just be a cessation of these struggles. And Joyce.
My family, my husband, my sister and her family, and my brother-in-law and his family, and for everybody in general.
Thank you. And Joe.
I lift up my family, Betty and her family, Casper and Sarah, all who are in fear or who are suffering, and everybody here, including myself.
Thank you. And since Barb can't speak, Barb, if you wanted to type your intentions in the thing, I'll read them off. And Aparna.
I want to send a special prayer for my family, my parents, my brother, sister-in-law, and just my family at large who's suffering right now through some of the COVID fear in India, and to the world at large, and for this community, a special gratitude.
Thank you. And Christine.
I would like to ask for healing for my mom, my dad, John, Sam, my grandmother, my papa, Cricket, myself, anyone else who needs it, everyone here tonight, and Gaia. Thank you.
Thank you. And Barb wrote for Demian, Molly, and to offer gratitude to God for my blessings. And she does have a request. Isa says, my parents, brother, goddaughter, and anyone else who needs it. And Barb asks Aparna if you could share the slides. If you send them to me, I can forward them on. And James.
I'd like to send healing to my parents, my brother, everyone here, everyone going through a time of despair, so they might know they're not alone. And Aparna, thank you again for sharing and being with us tonight.
Absolutely. And I saw somebody, Wendy.
Yes, my soul group, everyone that's involved with Rays of Healing Church. Thank you especially to those that are here tonight, and Aparna especially, and all those that are being affected by COVID, all the different facets, and those suffering from anxiety.
Especially the Indian people, since the outbreak there is the greatest in terms of numbers of
Indeed.
on earth, and we'll just ask for the healing of that. And thank you for reminding us. Okay, and we thank the angels, the archangels, the ascended masters, the Reiki masters, and all the beings of light that follow us. We thank the Blessed Mother, the Divine Feminine, Mary Magdalene, Moses, Metatron, Melchizedek, Mohammed, and Kuan Yin. We thank the angels, the archangels, and every single guide in spirit, our ancestors, and anybody that has any additional intention that they may have thought of that they didn't put into the prayer circle. It really is critical that people be continued to be prayed for. And we ask to be cleared, to be centered, aligned, balanced, and grounded. And we ask for the highest beings, for the highest abilities to send healing light from Metatron and his healing angels. And we also ask for the assistance of the great rays, the lords and masters of the rays, and the archangels of the rays. We ask all of this in the name of Jesus the Christ and in the name of I am. Amen. Namaste. And again, Aparna, we thank you. Beautiful presentation, very gentle, very loving, very peaceful. And so, right, we thank you for that. And we, for next week, and today is the paid speaker. So if there is a $25 suggested donation, if you can afford it, we'd certainly definitely appreciate it because we share that with Aparna. And for next month, we have energy clearing with Rodrigo Ortiz. And and he's had 30 years of healing experience. So he has a number of modalities, very powerful healer, very, very interesting. I've had some personal healings done with him. So, all right, everybody. And we made it with 1 minute to spare. So we're done before 9. All right, everybody. Blessings to all. Have a great
guys.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Aparna. It was fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was lovely. Thank you, Aparna.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night, everybody.
Good night, all.